All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. For those of you guys who've um, been in my class before, you watch these lecture videos, you may notice that I am not in my place. I am actually at my mom's place. So um, if the sound is different, weird, let me know. Okay, because again, my apartment's pretty closed in, and my parents is more open. So if you can't hear something, let me know in class and be like, hey, Martinez, there was a part in that video I couldn't really hear. Okay. So today we are going to go over Hobbes and Locke, and we're going to go more in depth on the social contract theory. Okay. But first, let's go ahead and start with the warm-up picture. All right. So here is the warm-up picture. The first thing I got to mention is this. There's been a lot of students who don't know what a machete is. A machete is a big, long, kind of like a sword but knife at the same time. It's huge. If you ever watch Friday the 13th, Jason, the guy with the hockey mask, that's a machete, what he has. And as you can see from the picture, they say absolutely no machete juggling. Okay, so the first question asks you, why is the man saying what he's saying? Okay, so there's the man on the side. Um, so write down for number one, what do you think? Why do you think he's saying what he's saying? Okay. Question number two says, do you think it's human nature to do things we're told not to do? Why or why not? Explain your position and thinking. So do you believe it's in our human nature, not just yourself? Again, like I told the classes, take yourself out of the equation. Some people are like, oh, I can follow the rules. I don't this and that. We're not talking about you specifically. We're saying human nature, people in general. Do you think it's our nature to do things we're told not to do? If we're told not to do this, that people are going to be like, well, why can't I? I'm going to try it. Or do you think people are going to be like, that's probably a reason to tell me not to do it, and that probably looks like I shouldn't do it, so I'm not going to do it? Or you think we have that curiosity that makes us do things that we're not supposed to do? Okay, so explain your position, tell me what you think, pause the video, finish that question, but we're moving on in three, two, one. All right, now here's the big thing with this lesson today. Unlike the other ones where I have basically the question and answer, the questions on the paper, the answers um, on the slide, we're doing things a little bit different. Basically, today I'm going to see how you do in putting things in your own words. Okay, so taking the information and forming it into your own words. So, like for question number three, it says, in your own words, what does Hobbes believe about the social contract theory? Okay, so Hobbes is on the top part. He founded the theory of social contract. Okay, now if you don't remember what social contract theory is, I would strongly suggest you watch the week 2 video, the origins. Skip up towards near the end because I go in depth on what social contract theory is. Okay. But he believed that people would surrender their rights to the state in order for security, you know. Um, and he basically believed that once you gave up that right, you that's it, you lost it, that you can't get it back. Because his belief was you should have known. You should have thought about this, the whole scenario. You should have thought about it deep and hard about, is it worth it? Trading my freedom for security, you know. Now some people say, no, 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 no. If you give up your freedoms, then you know, what if the government doesn't, or what if it's something bad, something worse? You know, shouldn't we get that right back? What if we change our minds halfway through? We say we want that freedom back. Hobbes is like, no, you should have thought about that before you give it up. Okay, so put that whole section in your own words. Okay, same thing with John Locke. You're going to put that whole thing in your own words. The difference between them two, it's pretty significant because Locke agrees with Hobbes. he believes that we are naturally endowed with the right to life, liberty, and property, um, and that we do give our rights for security to a governing body, that they protect us, but we give our rights willingly. However, Locke says that if the government fails to protect us, the thing we gave our rights away for, we should get it back. So a great example is this. Back in the day, um, for the airports, you only have to answer like 3 or 4 questions. Did you pack your bag? Has the bag been in your possession the whole time? Has someone unknowing to you tampered with your bag? And if you say yes, yes, and no, you can basically just go right through. They would check your bag through the X-ray, of course, but that's about it. Maybe a pat down or maybe a wand thing. That's it. Um, but because of September 11th, people were scared that terrorists might take over another plane, things like that. Now the airport security is like ridiculous. If you've ever experienced it, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you guys who have never been on a plane since September 11th, 2001, they make you take off your shoes, your belt. Um, they go check your bag several times, you know, X-ray, personally check it. They put you in this machine that like does like a 360 like scan on you, make sure that there's nothing internal that's metal or maybe dangerous. They have dogs, you know, they have all kinds of security now at the airport. So what Locke would say is if there was another terrorist attack, when they used a plane, they went through the security, they got checked out, and yet they still were managed to take a plane. He's saying that the government should give us our rights back to where we don't have to do all that security stuff. Because he's like, well, you failed. So we shouldn't have to go through this whole ordeal because it doesn't work. Okay. So put that whole thing in your own words and answer that question number 4. Question 5 is a thought one for you. Who do you agree with, Hobbes or Locke, and why? Which one do you agree with? Do you agree with Hobbes, or do you agree with Locke? Now remember, this is your opinion. This is your belief. So the only way you could be wrong is 3 things. 1, you don't answer. 2, you copy off someone else. Or 3, your answer is so left field it makes no sense. You know, if you're not even talking anything about Hobbes or Locke, then yeah, then it's going to be wrong. Okay, so pause the video, make your responses, but we're moving on in 3, 2, 1. All right, so on your worksheet, question number 6 says, what does maintain social order mean in your own words? Because the thing is, a lot of people ask, what are the purposes for government? Why do we even have it? There's 4 of them, okay? We're going to go through all of them, but the thing is, at each part, you're going to basically break it down in your own words. So there's maintain social order, there's provide public service, provide national security, and make economic decisions. And we're going to go through all 4 of them. Now, as you may know, we as people, we quite haven't figured out how to get along. You know, we really haven't. Um, we tend to take things personal. We tend to get angry, escalate our anger pretty quickly, and then attack, whether it's physical, verbal, mental, whatever. We tend to attack. We haven't learned to live without conflict. And that's what basically the government's made for. They are there to help establish how to resolve conflicts, you know. Um, so that's why we have rules and laws. So like the warm-up picture we had, but the no juggling, and people are like, well, the guy's like, oh, I want to juggle all of a sudden. I want to juggle machetes, because some people see it like, well, these rules and laws, why do they have them? Why can't I do that? And so they want to try it out. But rules and laws are made to keep us safe, set some boundaries. Some people they want to reach that boundary, they want to go past that, and they tend to pay the price. And when they do, Sad thing is, some people are like, well, yeah, I had it coming. I did it. And then some people see it as a personal attack. Oh, they're after me. Oh, they're always coming after me. And that's not the case. That's not the case. You know. So a great example of how the government tries to resolve conflicts is like in divorces. Okay, like marriages, right? Uh, one spouse wants this, the other spouse wants that. So what they do is they get a mediator, right? Somebody who's going to hear both sides, listen to both sides, and basically be like, okay, you get this, you get that, la la la. Or they don't give a care about these people. They have no personal interest on, oh, this person should get more, this person should get more. They don't care. Their job is to make sure that both sides get what they want as much as possible, and both sides are basically at least satisfied. You know that they don't get one side doesn't get everything they want, and this side doesn't get everything they want. That might not happen, but they try to find that happy medium. Okay. The other thing, provide public service. Now there are things that ordinary people like you and me we need, but we won't do or can't do. Okay. Great examples like build buildings, right? Some people, hey, they can build a shed. Awesome. But can you build a house with, the gas line, electric, and things like that? Maybe. Is it going to work? Is it going to stand well? Maybe not. Who knows? If they're not professional, you know. Same thing with like the sewer line that goes from your house to the street. Are you going to dig up a line? Are you going to lay down the pipes that goes from your house to the road? Oops, sorry about that. Um, if it gets clogged up and it gets all messy, are you going to clean it up? Chances are you're going to be saying no. And that's why we have public service. That's what they do. They check that stuff. They install those things. That's what the public service part is. All right, the next section, provide national security. This is to protect the people from foreign and domestic threats. So remember, foreign is anywhere outside the US. Domestic means here in the US. All right. So like a person like Timothy McVeigh, who was an Oklahoma City bomber, he is known as a domestic terrorist. Those people who attacked during 9/11, they are considered foreign, threats. Okay. Now, as part of national security, they can create war and conflict, and or they can sign treaties, make peace with countries. Okay. So that's that part. So again, put that in your own words. The last part is make economic decisions. The government has to wisely decide on what and where to spend their money. Okay. They can't just be like, oh, well, let's just put all our money in this. No. Well, what about all this other stuff that needs to get done? You know, paying for Medicare, paying for our soldiers, paying them, paying for roads and things like that, paying off our debts, so we only have a small amount of money and a lot of things that need attention. So not everyone's going to get what they want, and that's where they have to come in and basically say, okay, this is important a little bit more than this. Okay. So now we've come to your exit ticket, which is basically tell me something you learned today. Something brand new you hadn't thought of or you never heard of, and now you have, and now, or if something makes more sense to you, it's like clearer to you now that you've gone through this lesson. Okay. But yeah, that's it for this lesson. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something new. I will see you guys in class. And if you need any more assignments, let me know. I'll give you the worksheet. And then again, you can watch these YouTube videos and get those done and turn them into the green container. Okay. So you guys take care and be safe. All right.